really like her.
Gentlemen, have a good one.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see y'all later.
Andrews, see you,
Take
Cornwood.
care, guys. Nice to see you.
All right. How you doing, Daisy?
I'm doing okay. How are you, Nino?
What's the best word to describe it? I am, I'm going to use the best description that I could come up with, and there might be a better one, but I can't think of a better one right now because I'm going to wait for 13 hours. You know, like you know how there's like tribes that like live in the forest that no one's ever met?
Uh-huh.
And then like the explorers like go and meet them for the first time and you're trying to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like I'm in that sort of world with some of the conversations I got done with. And I quite frankly do not know what to think. And I'll just kind of like hit the bullet points, right? Just to convey where it is, because some of it is going to be relatable to, you know. So I heard the marshals like threatened all the cops that they're going to get fired if they see the document that I asked to be forwarded to you. No.
Yeah. I didn't get that document. But I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The one regarding Skype.
Yeah. And then I further heard that like they're saying it's illegal and all kinds of stuff. And I just am like, that's not how it works. And not only is that not how it works, but let's say under the principled fact, let's just pretend for a minute it was illegal in some like weird dystopian way. Why would you go announce it in a meeting in such a way? Because that's gonna make people go find out what it is. And it's gonna make people like do shit. Like let's say for example, I'm like, aha, oh my god, it's illegal. Hey, like, what cops are giving you problems, Daisy? Oh, not a problem. Let me just go and put it up on a projector screen in a meeting with a. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying this is gonna be done, but the principal point being, like, did anyone think this through before they went up there? And
no, it's obviously didn't. And I am planning on speaking to the marshals about it when I see one on duty. Because I think at the end of the day, it's kind of fear-mongering and then throwing their weight around. The fact that they think that they can go into a PD meeting and make those kind of statements, that it's unacceptable. You know, I mean, and when you look at, I talked to Peters like a little bit about it, and I you know, I would hope that in reality, the reason why they're doing this is basically to deter people from looking into Skyphase, you know, personal messages, but I don't think it was, you know, one, I don't think that they should have done it at all, you know. Maybe they had good intentions, I don't know. Or maybe they were just throwing, you know, their weight around. Either way, it wasn't okay. And, you know, to make people, I think, aware of the situation with Sky and that, you know, her personal information is out there, regardless of what it is, I also think was not the right move on their part. I'm gonna be talking to them and, you know, addressing it and saying this is the protocol that we have already established, that, you know, if there is any kind of officer misconduct, if there, you know, is an investigation that needs to happen, you conduct your investigation and then you bring your findings to me, which is how we've been operating. So this is entirely out of pocket, in my opinion.
yeah, and it for me draws
I also
concern
I
because
don't think it's illegal in the way it's not a rights violation in the way that they're saying. Like ethically, I don't think that you should look through the phone in any way, because it is. I do think people have, the right to privacy, but none of this would be used on an investigation. It would only be a rights violation if then we took that information and somehow used it against Sky.
well, technically you could, because it's been published.
But it was from illegal means though.
Illegal means, you mean?
Illegal. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I had this. This is something that Angel brought up to me, and I didn't want to argue it, but that's not how it works. Like, that's making the argument that if I put there's been court cases in the U.S. that have dealt with these. If someone leaks something, right, it doesn't matter how the leak came about. That's a separate crime in and of itself. I don't know how you could make that argument based on our current constitution that it would be thrown out because you did not do the illegal seizing. The Panama Papers. That's an example. Unless there's something buried deep in here, the only thing that I could see is the illegal search and seizure. But the search and seizure is if the PD, the Marshals, the BCSO, right, y'all went and illegally searched a phone or conducted a raid illegally, then you could apply, fruit of the poisonous tree. But this is a different beast altogether. Like, this is, I mean, you could make the argument, I will say, that you can't use this because there is no authenticity of this being an actual dump, right? That would be the legal defense. That who's to say this is authentic? However, that does not prevent you for using this as a piece of evidence, but then getting an actual search and seizure if the data and then some, like, for example, let's say there was something damning in here, right? Like, I killed Achi, right? And it was in the statute. Yeah. Right? And there's a photo of, like, Sky Faye with, like, a thumbs up next to Achi's body, right? Like, you can't be like, well, that's, found illegally, can't use it. No, you would find that this is published information.
It's like in plain sight in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I see what you're saying.
My only reason for bringing this up, not to go too deep, is my concern mostly comes from a place of, to me, it's kind of like, why are the Marshals doing this in your PD meeting, in an LSPD meeting? And this isn't even like, this is my LSPD type shit. This is more me coming even from a civilian perspective, is like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it feels very encroaching. Like, and then secondly, my concern comes from, it's such an elementary, like, bullshit that was spewed that I'm now concerned that these people are supposed to be, overseeing everything.
No, it's a valid concern. I mean, like I said, I plan to talk to the Marshals about it. I plan to talk to Angel about it, because that kind of intimidation shouldn't be happening.
They said that this was the same as what happened to Tilly. And I'm going to be honest with you. The fact that that was even uttered by a Marshal made me want to fucking throw up. Not because it's completely and inherently completely different, because one is going into a SIM card actively, whereas one is a republishing of information. And furthermore, it literally like, oh my god, like
I mean,
it's so, it like hurts my head.
they're two entirely different situations. They couldn't be more different. Are they just saying that because they both involve a phone? That
I don't know. I don't think they
really don't know
understand logic.
I don't know what to say to that because, you know, yeah, they're two completely separate situations that just the common denominator is there's a phone involved, but they're not at all even close,
Yeah.
even remotely the same.
No.
That's concerning.
Yeah. But so that's kind of how I started my day. So
Were
that
you there
has
for it?
Hmm?
Were you there? for
No,
it?
no, no. This is I just got made aware of it like hour and a half ago. Something like that. Hour and a half. I don't even know. I've had a couple meetings. But yeah. My biggest thing was kind of like I was like, I saw this. I told Den, get this to the chief and ask chief ASAP, because at the end of the day, the real damage is going to be the populace seeing it, and they're only going to read that header page. So
I haven't looked at it yet.
So I'll tell you, it's when it's like a bunch of the accusations, and then, which is actually the funny thing, is that you have to actively go from there then to the sim shit. So there would inherently be nothing illegal, even by the marshal's logic, if you looked at the actual pamphlet, because there's like, let's just say there's a separate stack of what they're referencing under a header page, and it tries to summarize things out. Think of it this way. It makes a bunch of accusations and says the evidence is here, but you know people in the city aren't going to read any of that, right? There's a good chance they're just going to believe whatever's written.
They'll read like 1 or 2 pages and then...
Cheesy, thank you for the 16 months.
Merry way, merry way.
All right. Well, I will say, you know, Sky was very forthcoming about the whole thing. She approached me about it last night and explained what was going on. Just feel bad for her.
Wait, sorry, say again?
I said, you know, Sky approached me last night, explained, you know, what was going on, and you know, first and foremost, I feel very bad for her.
Yeah.
That she's going through this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. It's pretty shitty, because there's nothing in that.
No, just other than, you know, her personal conversations with people.
Yeah.
That's being somebody's trying to use against her.
Yeah.
Well. But no, I will absolutely be speaking to the marshals. Because I see, the thing is that, you know, I feel like I have had a pretty good relationship with the marshals, like as far as like cooperation goes. They've assisted on some investigations, you know, and, you know, I think I had a conversation with one of them within the last couple of nights where they were just they were kind of chuckling at the idea of, you know, people thinking of the marshals as like, you know, the scary bad guy or whatever, you know, the big bad wolf. And but then you look at what happened today, and I'm like, well, if you do that kind of thing, that is how you're going to be perceived, you know. It doesn't put, I'm sure it doesn't make officers put much faith into the marshals if they storm into a meeting and threaten to fire people.
I don't think they're
That's
gonna get that,
crazy.
Daisy. I don't. I I hope you're right. But you need a hell of a lot of cojones to have stood up at that meeting and said what they did confidently, and be that demonstratively like idiot. Like you have to be those actions are fucking insane.
It was like any trust that like PD members might have had in the marshals, I worry might be gone now because of the actions that happened today. And I worry that people will be, you know, will be less forthcoming with information with the marshals, or, you know, be less cooperative because of that, because they put themselves in this position of being what they supposedly were trying not to be.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you want my like, I got a lot of bullshit from the detractors when I was first putting the Constitution up. I mean, like I'm slipping shit in there for like overreaching powers. Where is it? I'm gonna use the phraseology. Wait, I hope you don't mind this. I know Mike's gonna be fine with this, so stop me if this reference is too real. There was a commentator on the news recently that was like talking about like when Obama won the presidency. They're like, well, he went 8 years with Obama. Where's our communism? we went 8 years with Bill Clinton. Where's our communism? We have 8 years of Kamala. Are you really think we're gonna get communism? Right? And the reason I bring up that reference is there's a lot of like, you know, with our legislation, there's a lot of things overreaching. You know, he's putting things in there, right? Yeah, like why'd you put that line in? Why'd you put this line in? And I think I'm starting to realize that it's like projection to the max, because hearing what happened in this case, that's because that's what these motherfuckers have been doing. Looking at the fucking privacy clause and the search and seizure and be like, oh, well, the scope is actually this big. And it's like, wow, no, you have to really bastardize English, the English language and grammar and like common like reading practices to make these things fit. So I just don't I and my concern is, you know, you say, hey guys, you know, this is what it looks like. It's gonna be like I just, my impression, I hope I'm wrong, Daisy, is like, I feel like at best you might get oh yeah, okay, we understand, but low key that they had the balls to walk into that meeting. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I'm not gonna approach them that way. I'm gonna tell them like they can't do that again.
Oh, okay.
I'm just telling you my personal opinion and my worry about officers, but no, like I don't think they had any right to do that, to make that kind of announcement at a PD meeting. It's just fear mongering, in my opinion.
Bro, but there's like,
you know, it honestly makes me question, you know, makes me question them myself.
Yeah.
Do you know who it was, who the marshals were?
I
think it was Daisy.
Dukakis.
And yeah, and there was somebody else.
Yeah.
I'll speak to Daisy about it.
Yeah. Okay, so the other thing is oh my god, I don't even know anymore. All the fucking shit mixes together. McNulty transferred.
He did.
I know this because, but you were here when it happened, right?
I was.
Are you asking me or no?
Oh yeah, I forgot when you walked in. Cornwood got a call and got the news.
Yeah. He approached me about it. I accepted the transfer.
I want to be I'm going to be very transparent, Daisy. I am not concerned if I want you to know, right? As I said a while back, this shit's going to take a while. It is what it is. Plenty of runway. At the end of the day, you know what I've come to the conclusion to, and maybe this is cooked, right? When I walk into the shift 1 meeting, it is not the police force that used to be in shift 1. I walk in there, they're all fucking happy. Right? There's a vibe.
Yeah. I mean, I think
But this shift, and I'm not saying they are bad vibe, I'm saying like this is an entirely different world. And the funny jokey shit that I think happens in shift 1 absolutely does not resonate here. Because from the bleachers, hearing, speaking with you, speaking to, Peters, seeing, talking to the cops in shift 1, some of the cops in shift 2, my general impression, and this is my fear here, is I heard about the, y'all can't, do name calling shit, is that while that may have been pressure, tell me if I'm speaking out of line, that desire for that the banter not happening may be coming from this shift, but shift 1 fucks with that. And my concern is I don't know if there's ever going to be a way to... You get what I'm saying? It's like the bell hits and shift 2 starts, and the problems they have is more of like an accepted culture in an earlier shift. And if things are dictated where these guys can't have that banter, that's gonna be fucking,
no. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Look, if a cadet goes out and says some shit to BCSO, they say some shit back, I don't give a shit. That's just banter. That's whatever.
Oh, okay.
The problem that we were facing, and this is why I had to speak with Peters, I, have to take responsibility too, is that I had to shut it down, at least just for a little while, because the problem is that when high command engages with this, when high command stirs, people take high command's word as law.
True.
They take it extremely seriously because we actually have the authority and the ability to do something. It's very different than a cadet saying something. And so I think it would have been just one thing if it was always just, officers, deputies, whatnot, bantering. But the minute that high command got involved with it, I think the tensions went way too far. And it got to the point where people are genuinely feeling some kind of way about it. People are upset. People are transferring between both departments at this point. I have people in Shift 3 who have nothing to do with this. Shift 3 is doing great. Upset. And I was like, you know what? We need to just cool this. We need to cool it down for a little bit. let things kind of just relax again, and then, you know, things can go on. I told Peters that, and I told him this from the start, high command has to be the example, right? And we were at a point where our command didn't know what to do because they would see high command acting a certain way and didn't know how they could discipline cadets who were mirroring the actions of high command. And our purpose is to enable officers, to enable to enable command. And if we're causing that kind of conflict and we're causing people to question what to do in their job, we're doing something wrong. So we need to make a change.
So
You know, I gotta get food. I'm gonna
Yeah,
pass out
wait,
here.
I
Do
got-
have
I
time
got
to
some-
run and
I
come
got
back?
you,
Oh,
I
you
got
do?
you. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Sick.
There you
Thanks.
go. May I ask, like,
I have spent the last 2 days trying to put out fires, and it's been a long 2 days.
yeah, I believe it. My perspective is coming from this way, right, Daisy? And I want to give you the full scope of what I've seen and where my concern comes from. Is yesterday morning, we spoke over there by the Jeep. And then by the end of the night, it kind of seemed like there was a bit of a transition of thought. Now, while I definitely, at the end of the day, was understanding of the circumstances, right? We're talking about the certifications. My concern as an outsider is I feel like you're giving a lot back and you're not receiving anything. Because when the plan you kind of laid out 4 weeks back, right? 3 weeks back. I don't even know. Time blurs.
I will say though, the certs, the co-departmental certs, that was always my plan. That was what I enacted, one of the first things that I enacted as the chief of police. This was not something that BCSO came up with. This was something that I approached them about.
Didn't you mention, unless I'm totally hazed on this, but I could have sworn you wanted to, and this is around like the canine talk, is that you wanted to give more certifications and alternative means by which people are able to advance themselves outside of ring.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. And you can do that through, obviously there's the cert lead, but also within the certification, each cert is going to have shift leads or shift supervisors, you know? So each certification has kind of their own little command structure. So there's growth through the certifications, right? And the certifications, a couple of them are BCSO, a couple of them are LSPD. But within those certifications, you know, can be kind of whoever, you know, works up through that if they want to, if that's something that they're interested in.
I see.
In addition, you know, I am working on a ranger. I was calling it a certification. It's going to be, you know, within LSPD where, you know, officers are able to basically, because there's a lot of ex-rangers, right? I'm an ex-ranger, and it's all about giving people the opportunity to go and do the things that they want to do.
So what I'm hearing here, is that I misunderstood, and rather the certifications you were talking about are new ones that you're looking to create.
In addition to the existing ones, yeah.
Okay. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Cause
But what happened with the certifications, why there was all this fucking back and forth between them, and I think that this, this was probably a miscommunication between Peters and I, because Peters thought that he had spoken to me about it, but I didn't know anything about it. Peters wanted to basically the way that I had envisioned it, there's one cert lead, streamline the process, right? You have one cert lead that reports to high command. They have their own command structure within it. It's very much to give people and those certs like the authority and ownership. And
yeah.
we just kind of make sure things are moving along, but really I want to kind of be hands off with it. I want people to feel like this is theirs. And through the last couple of weeks, I think last week, Peters, during a meeting between the four of us, high command, said we're gonna have 2 cert leads. It's gonna be LSPD and BCSO. And I had to think about it a little bit because it kind of caught me off guard, and I didn't want to undermine him in front of BCSO. But I had to think about, is this the right thing to do? While I don't think it's a bad idea, I think it could have worked. At the end of the day, that wasn't the plan. That wasn't the vision, and I still wanted to move forward with the single cert leads because I think that is better for the LSPD. That is better for both departments. And that was always the plan in the beginning.
I got you. Okay. Okay. I see. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. I think that misunderstanding, the way that I saw it was, with these transfers, a lot of those certs were going over to BCSO. And then when we talked about, it getting to the point where you wanted to split them, and then the decision roll it back, a couple hours later, I was under the impression that they had effectively convinced you otherwise. And my core concern there at that point was, is there too much compromisation to the point where, what are LSPD new recruits gonna strive for if everything's already taken,
No,
But it
not at
sounds
all.
like it sounds like that's all based on not realizing that there's more to come, effectively.
There's more to come.
Yeah.
And I think like any position within LSPD, you're not just handed something and you're like, okay, that's it. I have this forever. I want to see you working for it, and I want to see you trying and pushing it forward. And if you're not doing the work, you're not going to keep the cert.
Yeah.
People have to work for what they have, and we're seeing that, I think, in especially in shift 1. We changed the command structure in shift 1. We dropped Viv down from lieutenant to sergeant. We dropped all lieutenants down, and we promoted Maxwell. There's still one command position open in shift 1, and I have an idea of who I want to put in that position. But there's just so much energy now, and we promoted a bunch of seniors in shift 1, and people just seem very energized and excited, and they seem hungry, I guess is the best word to put. Shift 2, there was I was speaking with Sky and Peters, and Sky was pretty concerned about shift 2. but in reality, shift 2 was always small. Even when we started, there were 8 active officers in shift 2. Which is, I don't
Oh,
know if
yeah.
you can wrap your head around that,
Oh,
but
I know.
that's
I used to pull around this
insanely
time.
small.
Oh, I know. There's days where there was 3. I know because
But
while I was
that's
running for
on the
mayor.
roster. That's not
What?
like out on duty. That's on the roster, Nino. 8 active officers in shift 2 on the roster.
Holy fucking shit.
Shift 2 was always small. I don't think people really grasp that. There are 30 active officers in shift 3. There are over 20 in shift
Why can't
1.
I?
There's 8.
What the fuck?
Shift 2 was already in the rebuilding stage, in my opinion. And now I think we really can rebuild it. And, you know, talking about it today, where we start is we have like 5 or 6 PPOs that are ready to be pushed to officer. We get them sorted out. You know, we really celebrate their transition to officer. You know, really, I think, you know, anytime somebody gets an officer, it's a big morale boost. In addition to that, you know, we focus on the cadets that we have and getting them up to PPO. I just promoted a cadet from PPO last night and today. And we just work at rebuilding the actual officer structure, not the command structure, the officer structure within shift 2, and grow that. And then from there, we look at command.
Okay. That's a lot more relieving. Okay. That gets rid of. Yeah. This is okay. How is Peter's working out?
It's causing me fucking headaches, but you know, we had a frank talk today, and I just told him what I told you. You know, high command has to be the example. We can't be stirring. We have to be above it all. You know,
Yeah.
we have to focus on actually rebuilding the department. I need him to do what he did in shift 1 with shift 2, because he really helped me with shift 1, and like the vibes are good in shift 1. You know, I need him to be that Peters. But you know, there's been a couple issues. I'm not gonna lie. I've addressed them with him, and now it's, you know, I'm not gonna stand here and say that I'm perfect, because I've made mistakes too, and
Everybody
you know,
does.
I'm not gonna make those mistakes again.
My only
because I saw
concern.
the damage that it caused.
Yeah. My only concern with Peters is because I feel like the writing is on the wall, is that Peters is a scapegoat, and that I do hope that is heavily considered, because at the end of the day, it's easy to blame Peters because of who he is and not the value that he brings, you know? Because
Peters is great.
yeah.
I think Peters knows exactly what the PD needs to succeed. I truly believe that. But Peters does let his mouth run sometimes, and it gets him in trouble. And
To be
I told
fair,
him he
though,
he needs to knock it off.
to be fair, he's not the only one. He just says it to your face, and he's not a rat.
True.
So
True. He does say it to your face. I'll give him that much.
like if you have a problem with someone, right, and it's causing some tensions, at least Peters will tell you. I mean, I don't know about this whole like fucking shit happening with the problem that the some guy had problems with him yesterday, and now he's like throwing fucking ultimatums and shit like that. Like, I'm gonna be straight with you. that's the kind of fucking rat fuck you want to be really careful of.
No, what I said about the whole thing is, you know, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah.
If this is the game that he wants to play, you know, he's more than welcome to transfer to BCSO.
Yeah,
but
well,
you're not gonna hold that over my head, because at the end of the day, I do see Peter's value.
he's got your back.
We both, I know he does.
Yeah.
And I have his too. I just need him to, you know, I need to stop putting out little fires and actually focus on the to-do list I have.
Yeah, I guess like part of me wonders, and you know, is like, why don't you just tell these people to like, I function very differently, right? I'm asking for my own, like, I tell people to suck a dick and I just walk out,
I mean,
and then just go do what it needs to be done. It's what I've done with the shit from before, right? I like talking to you guys, getting an idea of what's going on, right? So I'm at least up to date if I, you know, need to be. But those that I have no, you know, like responsibility for, fuck them. You know what I mean?
you know, with Loki, and Peters has acknowledged it, and Peters apologized. Peters definitely spoke to Loki in a way that he shouldn't have, and Peters recognized it, apologized about it. But Loki won't let it go. And I think, you know, there's, God, I just had my P&T lead text me, "You're amazing. That's concerning. What happened?"
I guess what I'm trying to say is that
I'm not gonna let somebody steamroll me into trying to get rid of my assistant chief who genuinely wants the best for the department because they're upset about a fight and can't let it go and can't, you know, have a conversation with them about it.
what I'm trying to say is that I do not believe in a million years that was the breaking. That was the breaking point. If it even came to that, he's had a problem for a much longer time, and probably more has to do with what you and him are doing, and the fact that it led to I'm gonna leave. This has been for a minute going.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
And there's probably one or two more. And I'm not trying to do like a scare tactic. I'm just saying, you know, Daisy, just be cautious. You know what I mean?
That's what I said to Sky earlier. I said, if he's at the point where he's talking about transferring, he's, in my mind, already transferred. It doesn't really matter what I do at this point, because if it's not this thing, it's going to be the next thing.
Yeah. This is your fucking department at the end of the day, right? You turn it into a paramilitary force, so be it. You turn it into everyone's a ranger, so fucking be it. If people don't want that, fuck them, you know? And know that who's gonna, like, you know, even if...
You know, can I tell you what I want? I just want officers to be able to articulate charges. That's what I want, Nino.
Well, what it... You're telling the guy that doesn't believe that a lot of officers want to do that. So I'm gonna say, don't take what I'm saying. Understand where this is coming from. Is that I think that I believe you, and that's why I picked you as chief, because I believe that you believe that. But I also do not believe that other entities are looking for that. I genuinely think they want to clock on duty, suck each other off, and shoot criminals and drive fast. If that weren't the case,
some definitely do.
these FOIA shit wouldn't be a problem. If it was true, we wouldn't have Michael over here who's about to tell you the story. or the other atrocities, you wouldn't have the Tilly situation, or the many other the Dundee situation. You wouldn't have these problems, right? And that's, in my opinion, why when people look at you that don't believe in your vision, that's the core problem. And they may boil it to other things like, some of the bullshit they put on Twitter or this other stuff. No, they want to come in and fuck around at the expense of the rest of the city. That's my position. And now, I haven't asked for much. However, I think after you hear Michael's story, you'll understand that I think Michael, could you tell her what happened?
Absolutely. Daisy, we meet here quite often, and like any other day, we had our meeting here yesterday. The meeting wrapped up, and I hung behind to bring another colleague up to speed on some stuff that she was tasked with doing. We go to exit the venue, walk around front, and I'm held up by two gentlemen. Basically, they said, "Give me your keys." I said, "Here you go. Just know that I'm going to report my vehicle stolen." Nino, I believe you were witness to this from a distance because you called me immediately after.
I was right up there on the roof.
Right. I put in a 311, immediately called for a ride from multiple people, and eventually got dropped off at MRPD to file a report. When I arrived there, there was not a single officer within the building. I waited in the lobby for about 10 minutes shouting before I walked around back and checked the doors there for another officer. Probably about another 10 minutes of waiting around. So effectively at that point, I had waited 20 minutes to get in touch with the police officer to report my situation, and I couldn't. I think you'll find if you check your phone, you have a missed call from me as well. You're the only police officer I have in my phone, so I apologize for calling the chief directly for something like this, but at this point, I was at a loss.
I'm so sorry I didn't answer.
It's not a problem, and honestly, it's not important to the story. At this point, I look at my phone. I see that my vehicle hadn't moved for about 10 minutes. It was at the Port of Los Santos. So as I was walking out of the lobby, a friend of mine drove by, asked me what I was doing, and they offered to give me a ride to pick up my vehicle. We went to the port. My vehicle was abandoned. There was no cars and no people in sight. I exited the vehicle, walked into my car, got in, drove away, no problem. Heading back to MRPD to let them know that, I put in the 311, I have my vehicle, but I'd still like to file a report. I'm leaving the port, and I notice an officer pulled over on the side of the road. Their vehicle is facing the opposite direction of mine, in the other lane. I pull over my vehicle to the side of the road, stop my engine, step out of the car, and I'm wearing exactly what I'm wearing right now. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm painting the picture. As I exit my vehicle, I immediately start saying, "Hey, officer, I just want it." And before I finish my sentence, the officer turns, says nothing, fires 4 shots. One of them hits me in the head.
What?
I enter back into my vehicle. 3 additional shots are fired through my windshield. Thank God she's not very good with a firearm, because I'd be dead. As I'm driving away from the scene, I'm shouting, "I'm not involved. I'm not involved. What are you doing?" And all I hear is, "Get out of here." I need you to understand, my vehicle was on the other side of the road. I am crossing the road to park on the side of the road that the officer's vehicle is on. I leave about a car length or 2 between my vehicle and theirs. The officer is outside of the vehicle. They are not making a traffic stop. There's no other car in sight. I see them on the other side of the vehicle, and I can see from about their shoulder up, okay? The only other thing I noticed was someone in the front seat of the vehicle. They were not in an LSPD or a BCSO uniform, but I couldn't tell if they were male or female. I just didn't recognize a PD uniform. I am on adrenaline at this point, fucking driving crazy, trying to get to the hospital. I bump into another officer. I tell them what happened, and I say, "I need a name and badge number. I need a name and badge number." They say, basically, "Fuck off. It'll be an investigation." So I go to the hospital. At this point, I call Nino. Nino, I brought you completely up to speed, basically telling the story exactly as I have now. I get to the hospital. I immediately seek medical attention. Ava Devereaux was there, who is coincidentally the colleague that I was here with. She removes bullet fragments from my skull, and I ask her for a copy of the medical report. As I'm exiting the hospital, the police officers show up. And I say, officers, this would happen. I would like a name and badge number. And you know what? I hate to do this to you, Daisy, because it seems like every time I bring up a PD matter to you, the word dumb fuck is involved. But a police officer says, it's not the time, dumb fuck. Get the fuck out of here. And that's where the story ends. Now,
Who is, do you know who the officer said that is?
I spoke to 3 officers, okay? The one who shot me and 2 others between the time I was shot and I got to the hospital. None of them would give me a name or a badge number. All I can tell you, Caucasian, female, brown hair, native English speaker, no accent.
What was the description of the person who spoke to you in the hospital?
There was a lot of them. There was like 5 or 6.
Are you clocked in?
Not right now, no.
Okay.
But it was a female officer and I believe a marshal. There were multiple other officers at the time, and I realized they were in the hospital and wounded were brought in.
What color hair was the Marshals?
I'm sorry, Nino, I don't recall.
so
Female marshal, though.
I think I'll be able to. I believe I heard about this situation yesterday. It was.
I think it's Daisy and
described to me
Hayes.
differently.
Okay. Now here's where I have a problem, okay? I came in hot this morning when I talked to Nino, ready to raise hell and high water. Because
I understand.
Right. I'm talking lawsuit, right? At this point. And I'll admit, you know, I was talked off of that ledge. At the end of the day, you know, Nino recently asked you what you wanted from the PD, and you said, you know, you said what you said. I want accountability. And that starts with this situation, number 1, properly being documented in the report. And number 2, this isn't about getting someone fired. It's about ensuring that the citizens' best interests are being held in high regard by the people who operate the police. And I have to say, you know, given the interaction I went through yesterday, I'm having a tough time seeing where the accountability is. Especially if that report doesn't read exactly like I said it right now.
Michael,
Because
look at
that's
this
what
real quick.
Yeah. I wasn't even asked to give a statement, Chief.
Okay. I am going to.
Maybe, Nino. Maybe. That's the best I can give you.
I'm going to track down the incident from it was yesterday. It was yesterday morning. Is that correct?
Yesterday afternoon. It was. I want to
Okay.
say it was between the hours of 4:30 and like maybe 5:15 p.m.
You said it was a brown-haired female officer.
That's correct.
I believe that was probably when you called me. I was with the Marshals, I think, at that time.
It
okay.
was probably about 15-20 minutes after I called you that the actual shooting occurred.
Okay. You said, would that be 4:30
Eastern.
Eastern?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't around that early. I was around more at like 6:30 Eastern.
Again, I wasn't sure if you were awake or not. Like I said, you're the only PD number
But-
I have.
Okay, I will find out what happened in that. I'll find out the officers.
I think it's them because
you know, obviously, if you would
at the last LSPD
like
meeting,
to,
they
you
were
know,
together.
you know,
The one where Opal
sue
stormed
or
into,
anything,
and that was the same day this happened.
you know, I will be happy to, once I get that report number, give that to you.
It's about
But-
accountability, Daisy. It's not about suing. It's not about getting money. It's not even about getting people in trouble.
Yeah, they're by the double doors.
It's about accountability.
No, of course. But what
I could be wrong,
do is
though.
I'm gonna track down the officers that are involved.
just-
I'm gonna speak with all of them, find out what the hell happened there.
The combinations are pretty low.
And you know, it will be dealt with appropriately. I can promise that.
I believe you. I will say the disheartening part about all of this is that you're just hearing about this now.
I am so sorry that that happened, and that is something that obviously I hate to hear, because the whole purpose of, you know, the LSPD is to protect the citizens, right? You know, and
Sure.
to hear that they wouldn't even talk to you in the hospital. Okay, I will find that out. Is there any chance that you can send me a statement?
I can email it to you right now.
That
I
would be
sent a
great.
statement to Robin Ferrara yesterday.
I made a report about it, and I'm gonna put your statement in here. And I will get this.
I have witnesses to the shooting because the vehicle that dropped me off, the passenger of the vehicle witnessed the actual shooting and called me moments later. So I have witnesses to that. I have Nino witnessing the holdup.
Who are the witnesses? Would it be okay if I got in contact with them?
I know his name is Jake, but he was the driver. I don't know the passenger's name, but I will get it to you first thing tomorrow morning, and I will send that to you in a message.
Yeah, if you can give me their contact information,
Absolutely.
That would be great.
Absolutely. And then Ava Devereaux was the doctor who performed the surgery on me, and her friend, and also I don't know if he's a colleague or not, Arthur McGuire, was witness to my treatment in the hospital by the police officers. I don't want to just say LSPD because BCSO and the Marshals were there as well. It wasn't a good look at all.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting me know about this. I am so sorry to hear that all this happened.
I have an idea who the two are, and my inkling is based off. I came to that same day. I actually went to the shift meeting, and then I came over here. And at that meeting, the marshal and an officer standing by each other matched that same description. So I'll send it to you separately just in case, you know, just so, because I could be misfiring.
Who you think it is?
Is it normal for marshals to like patrol with PD? Because I was under the impression that they don't patrol. It's
So
not in their job
marshals marshals can sometimes do ride-alongs. A marshal asked to do a ride-along with me the other day.
Okay.
You know, she just said that she hadn't really gotten a chance to speak with too many people from PD and just wanted to, you know, speak to me. So yeah, I rode with her for like an hour.
Okay. I only ask. I had a friend who did an interview to be a marshal, and he was told explicitly that marshals do not patrol. So
Was it the marshal or the officer that shot at you?
No, it was the officer. The marshal remained in the vehicle.
Okay.
I don't know if the marshal said anything, because again, there was nothing said to me until after at least 5 or 6 bullets were fired. And they were both female. The only thing I heard was, you know, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here.
Okay. I'm gonna follow up about this.
I mean, at minimum, she needs firearms training because she was 1 for 9.
Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. Thank you again for bringing this to my attention. I hopefully we'll have a follow-up with you in the next few days.
Oh, I appreciate that. And like
Yeah.
I said, this isn't about a lawsuit or lining my pockets. And I'll be honest, I feel terrible, you know, dumping this on you in the first place. But at the end of the day, it is about accountability. I think that's where it starts. And that's where it ends. When it comes to something like a police force, there has to be accountability. Otherwise, that reputation is never going to be repaired.
No, I mean, I agree. I think like that is how that's how my expectations of how LSPD should be operating is with accountability. I think that we have definitely made a lot of changes and a lot of steps towards that, but obviously we need to keep working towards that after hearing what had happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna speak to the sergeants and
I'm buying you guys 3 Interceptors.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that.
Thank you.
Just sent you my statement, Daisy.
But we need
Thank you. I'll add it in.
we need the Interceptor cert. I'm kidding, by the way. I may have told Den I'm doing it, but I was mostly fucking with him.
We're not getting the interceptors.
I mean, do you guys need them?
I mean,
If you guys need Interceptors, you let me know.
I'm honest with you, not really.
Yeah.
Like the Tauruses and the what's it called? The V-Star are very good. Yeah, you know, they have their flaws to them, but I think that they can, especially the V-Star, can keep up with the, you know, highway blasting vehicles.
Are you sure?
You know, my V-Star can go 190 on the freeway.
I don't know. I was told that that's impossible.
Well, it went 190 when I tried it. It did.
You should be the Interceptor cert, because like I
should
don't
absolutely not be the Interceptor.
Well,
cert.
I'm just saying, I was told by an Interceptor guy that you can't keep up with those with a local Dominator. Gauntlet.
So here's the thing, right, about the Interceptor cert, is that, and this is what I told Bones.
Is it still the highway unit?
No, I think that's a different thing.
Oh, gotcha.
So cargo fast cert, it's not just about going fast.
No. I know, Daisy. I'm doing one of those like extreme meme situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do want to make sure that like you at least understand like my take on like the Interceptor cert, right?
Okay.
Is that My expectation for people in the CERT is that they're not just driving a car around fast and like pitting people and, you know, doing all of that shit. They are leaders within the shift. They are also training people and helping people become better pursuit drivers, become better scene leads. You know, I want that CERT, the people in it, to be very collaborative and to be enabling other officers to improve. It cannot just be just drive around fast and look cool, because who the fuck cares? They have to be able to, you know, enable other officers to do better.
Okay. Yeah, understandable.
And if they're not doing that, I will shut that shit down.
So here's what I want to do when it comes to like transparently, we do not, the conversation walked in with Cornwood, we're talking about how the inherent nature that if you look at things the way that a lot of people look at things, if you understand what I'm saying, like, can this button do this? You know what I mean? Like, you cannot eat a watermelon unless you cut it, kind of shit. The PD does not generate the county any money outside of moonshine going down as a consequence of like reducing whatever.
You don't get any money from when we fine?
Nope. So I'm actually really happy you're losing all those cops to Blaine County. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Wait, so where does that money go then? Because
you get it.
Well, no, we get 25% of
75
the fine.
DOJ.
Wait, it goes to the DOJ? I thought it went to the. Thought it went to the state budget.
It's like both, probably. Yeah, we don't get any money. So, whatever you've been doing to get all these rats out of Los Santos County, good shit. You've probably saved us at least $2 million in the last 2 weeks. And and in a way, you're kind of paying for the Interceptor.
Wait, how is people transferring to BCSO?
Because now BCSO has to pay for it. Pay for their employment.
I see. Because our employment comes out of the state budget.
Yeah.
I see. I see what you're saying.
No, but seriously, I'm just fucking around at this point. I've been awake too long. I'm not. Those are actual facts, but like obviously, I don't want people transfer for that. But you know, there's always a bright side to it. If you do need interceptors, helicopter, and stuff, the reason I bring this up is this money is coming from taxpayers. I don't think I could necessarily flat out pay for it, but let's say you need something, we could do one of two things. Maybe like a 50-50, right? How much is an Interceptor?
It's $1 million.
We pay 500,000, you pay 500,000. I make it like some kind of goal for the PD to try to achieve, so it feels like you know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like I'm about to make a really bad joke that you might not take the right way.
No, go for it.
Well,
I like jokes. I'm not a blainer.
Well, you know, now that technically Bones is running the pursuit unit, those interceptors sound like a BCSO problem that they can pay for out of their budget.
Yeah. You know what? Probably. Oh my God. Wait, what certs do you have right now?
Motor TRT.
You have motor. Do you need more bikes?
We got 2. But we can, we got
Do you need boat unit?
We got almost, ooh.
Oh
my God.
I feel like,
unit.
Yeah. Boat unit.
That would be so much fun.
Subunit. Submarines.
I mean, we do have, you know what, Nino? That's actually such a good idea because we have a lot of boat, you know, I don't even know what the fuck to call them. You know, sea pursuits, ocean pursuits.
Yep.
I think that would be great. Does somebody take that on, make a certification out of it, have like specialized training for it?
Yep.
You know, we do have boats, so I think we're good on that. But yeah, I'm gonna push that forward because I think that people would have a lot of fun with that.
And I do have something else for you. I want to bring in hunting license legislation, and maybe whenever you get the ranger stuff going, something along those lines. Now, this isn't Mimi. I'm actually serious about this. We are going to be doing surveying up at the oil fields, and there it's full of murder kitties. So I am looking, perhaps.
Are you gonna let people hunt murder kitties?
Yeah, they're gonna. Otherwise, they're gonna get the workers killed.
Yeah, those cats are pretty vicious.
There's a lot of them at the oil fields. Like, they'll go in packs of 2s and 3s.
Jesus.
So I need something that, you know, my surveyors or those that may be assisting can like mark them with a hunting rifle. You know what I mean? Because the only alternative would be you station a cop there, and that's not reasonable. Separately, there's some other shit that I'm gonna send you because I don't want to show what it is, kind of thing, because it's exciting, but also falls into the space of park rangers. I would like you to take a look at that. So not right now, but I'm gonna send it the next day or two.
Send it to me. I will also email you. I have some updates about something.
Okay.
That is exciting.
It's about why the bone that's on my tool belt.
Possibly.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to discuss, Daisy?
Nope. That's
All right.
it.
Hell yeah.
It's been a long couple of days, but I do think that you know, we've gotten through like the hard part. I mean, I know there's gonna be more, but I feel like we have a good direction, and Peters and I had a good talk today, and I think we're on the same page. And
Oh yeah.
I don't want you to be worried about the joke thing.
Wait, what joke thing?
Well, no, just when you mentioned earlier about
yeah.
It's really just we needed a little bit of a cool down.
Understandable. Yeah,
people were getting a little too upset about things.
In shift 1 or shift 2, may I ask?
It was like 1 into 2, and then it kind of spread to all the shifts, and I was like, all right, we're taking a break. You know, just give it like a week or 2 for things to cool off, and I'm sure Carmine and Bobby will start saying shit to people and whatever. I don't care if Carmine. Who cares if Carmine and Bobby say stuff? It's funny. Have you heard of the?
That makes sense.
Have you heard of the Ninos?
No, what's
favorite. That? Nino's children. Ninos.
I have a vasectomy.
Okay. All right.
Well, yeah. Oh, you have the PD event legislation, right? It's just waiting for you to pick someone.
Yeah. I need to talk to Peach about it. I just haven't had time.
Wait, well, who are the Ninos?
Us. Me.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Like, you know, Blainers. We're Nino's.
Wait,
Ninos.
wait. Blaine County came up with that?
Yeah. It's
Brilliant.
pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's great. See, this is why you guys are successful. You know.
I think we'll be just fine. I think, you know, there's going to be things that are going to come up. But, you know, as long as Peters and I are on the same page, I think we're doing just fine.
Yep. Hell yeah. All right. I appreciate it, Daisy. And
Crime.
all right.
All right. Let me know if you need anything, Michael. I will be in touch.
Yep.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Same.
Again, sorry to add any trouble to your day, but
Please don't ever apologize for that. You know, come to me with anything, okay?
appreciate that, Chief. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Let's get some food. We're gonna drive
yeah.
together.
Yeah.